Are you having a baby and you've heard about vitamin K, and then you did a quick Google search and now you have some questions and some concerns? Let me help you through them. Let's first consume some information. Let's chat about what is vitamin K. Very simply, this is a group of vitamins that are fat soluble, and they are found in things we eat like leafy greens, broccoli, collard greens, Brussels sprouts, kiwi. If it's green, it probably has vitamin K in it, and you need vitamin K in your body to help you with blood clotting. If you're bleeding, you need vitamin K to help make you stop. While you can consume vitamin K really quickly, your body, it also gets rid of the vitamin K really quickly. So, are those green foods the only place you're gonna get all the vitamin K that your body needs to clot its blood? No, it's not, because your gut, it absorbs vitamin K and it actually has bacteria in it that produce its own vitamin K. And then once that bacteria makes the vitamin K, it's transported by your bloodstream to your liver, because we said it is fat soluble, and that's why it is stored mainly in your liver. Now up pops a big problem when we're talking about babies and vitamin K, because all babies are born deficient in vitamin K. And you're thinking to yourself, Tina, how is that even possible? You just told me that we need vitamin K to clot our blood. So how can all babies be deficient in something that they really, really need? But we know that vitamin K is coming from two sources, right? It's coming first from that food that we are eating, but babies are not coming out of the womb and ordering a salad. They're not going to consume that solid food that is rich in vitamin K until they're around 6 months of age. So we know that they're not getting it from their diet. And then babies come out these beautiful new souls, and their guts, they are sterile. They don't have that bacteria that is needed to produce that vitamin K. So they are not getting it from their intestines either. And when you take away those two sources, that makes babies deficient in vitamin K. Now, they don't crack out deficient in everything. Babies have the clotting factors that they need, but they don't have the key to unlock those clotting factors to make them work, because that key is vitamin K. It's sort of like if you bought yourself a brand new house and you go to enter the door on possession day, but you don't have the key and you run straight into the door. The house is there, but you can't enter the house and enjoy it because you're missing the key. Babies need vitamin K to make that clotting cascade work for them. So what does this mean for your brand new baby? Well, this inability to clot their blood, it puts babies at an increased risk of something called vitamin K deficiency bleeding. See, babies can bleed on the outside where you can see it, like if they were to scratch their skin with those super sharp nails that they come out of the womb with, or they can bleed inside their body, internally, where you can't see it, in places like their intestines or their brains. And you can imagine that this is going to cause a very large problem for a very small human being. And a lot of the times these bleeds, they happen all on their own. They just spontaneously happen. It is not always a traumatic delivery experience or like your baby's going for a circumcision, although I do not know a lot of doctors that would do a circumcision without a vitamin K shot first. See, in 2013, they had 6 cases of vitamin K deficiency bleeding, and all 6 of those cases, they were from non-traumatic vaginal delivery. So no shoulder dystocias, no instrumental deliveries, they just spontaneously started to bleed. Vitamin K deficiency bleeding is named differently depending on when it starts in baby's life. There's early vitamin K deficiency bleeding. This comes on within the first 24 hours of life, and this is going to affect babies who are born to mothers who are on some type of medication that interferes with vitamin K. And then there is classical vitamin K deficiency bleeding. This one comes on between days 2 to 7, but more commonly between days 2 to 3, which is when vitamin K levels in babies are at their absolute lowest. Now, these two together, they're going to affect 1 in 60 babies, upwards of 1 in 250 babies. Now, late vitamin K deficiency bleeding, this one affects less babies, around 1 in 14,000 to 1 in 25,000. But babies who do not receive that 1 dose of vitamin K at birth, they are 81 times more likely to develop this type of deficiency bleeding than babies who did receive the vitamin K injection. This one's going to come on between 1 week and 6 months, but it peaks around 2 to 8 weeks of life. And babies who are exclusively breastfed and did not receive this dose of vitamin K at birth, they are more likely to develop late onset vitamin K deficiency bleeding, and 30 to 60% of these babies will go on to develop those brain bleeds. All right, I see you. I see the wheels turning. I'm going to answer some questions for you right now. Placenta. Surely the vitamin K that I have in my body, it's going to transfer through the baby via that placenta and the umbilical cord. Like, I'm going to eat a million salads and then that baby's going to come out just chock full of vitamin K. Not so much. So we mentioned that vitamin K is fat soluble, which means it's stored in the liver, and therefore levels of vitamin K do not transfer well via the placenta. But you're like, hang on, I am gonna breastfeed and I know that alcohol goes through my breast milk, so surely if I eat vitamin K and I make vitamin K, it's just gonna slide on out via the milk and my baby's gonna get what they need, right? Again, not so much. Adequate levels of vitamin K are not transferred through the breast milk to give baby what they need to protect them against vitamin K deficiency bleeding. So there has to be a solution then, right? Well, there is a solution, and that solution is 1 dose of vitamin K given to your baby after birth. But as you know, because you're watching this video, this solution is not always cut and dry because some parents are actually refusing the vitamin K injection, be it for personal beliefs or misinformation or just concerns over baby's welfare. But this refusal actually has long-lasting health implications. Babies who don't receive the vitamin K injection at birth, they are 80 times more likely to develop a bleed in their body, and this bleed is oftentimes in their brains, and 1 in 5 babies who develops a brain bleed as a result of vitamin K deficiency bleeding will die. So I really want to go over all the information I can for you so you have a lot of information to make a really, really good informed decision. Let's first talk about the thing that is brought up the most, and that is the fact that vitamin K has a black box warning on it. And that is not a lie. Here it is right here. But I want you to know something else. A lot of very common medications, they do have black box warnings. Ibuprofen has one, some antibiotics have them, but this one, it is pretty intense. It says that this medication can cause a severe allergic reaction that can cause death. Now, this black box warning is basically talking about adults who have a liver disorder that causes their blood to not be able to clot, or who are on medications that cause their body not to clot their blood well. And if that gets serious enough, they may need a dose of vitamin K to help them clot their blood. And sometimes when adults receive a large amount of this medication very quickly, it can cause this severe allergic reaction. But this is generally not talking about babies because there's only been 1 case of a severe allergic reaction that did not cause death, and that was in Turkey in 2014 in a baby. But in the United States, there are 4 million babies born every single year, and there have been 0 case studies of an allergic reaction and 0 deaths from vitamin K. So we know that this black box warning, although it does sound very, very scary, is not a very reliable argument against getting your baby the vitamin K. Lately, there's been a lot of discussion about oral vitamin K and is it as effective at preventing bleeding as the injectable version? And I'm here to tell you that it is not as effective, especially when you're talking about late onset of vitamin K deficiency bleeding. And that is because oral vitamin K, it is not as easily absorbed. And when you give the injection of the muscle, you are delivering 0.5 to 1 milligrams of vitamin K, depending on how chubby your baby is at birth. And then that vitamin K that's injected, it's stored in their liver and it is slowly released over the next 6 months, at which point in time, conveniently, they are going to be able to start consuming solid foods, which hopefully include those green foods that are rich in vitamin K, and then they're going to make their own vitamin K to protect them further against bleeding. Plus, oral vitamin K, it has to be given in a series, and it cannot be missed, and sometimes with life and with logistics, those doses of oral vitamin K, they get missed or they get unscheduled where they are not regimented, and then your protection against vitamin K deficiency bleeding, it goes down. And there is not an oral vitamin K on the market that is FDA approved. And for all of those reasons, the Canadian Pediatric Society and the American Academy of Pediatrics, they both recommend the injectable version of vitamin K with the birth of your baby. Now, if you've been Googling, you're probably also curious, can the vitamin K shot cause leukemia? Because there was that one study done way back in 1992 that was small, around 800 people, but that study has never been able to be replicated since. Actually, there's been 2 studies that were very large that came out since that study was released that have disproven this theory altogether. And when you think about it, I'm not really sure how an essential vitamin, vitamin K, could actually cause leukemia, and researchers, they can't figure it out either. Aluminum, what about the aluminum? Now, I feel you on this one because nobody wants to inject themselves with something that contains aluminum, let alone inject their babies with something that contains aluminum. But I want you to look at the vitamin K vial. On it, it does say, may contain up to a certain amount of aluminum. But that's not because the shot itself contains aluminum. No one's dumping aluminum into the vat of vitamin K and then doling it out to babies. That's because where it is manufactured, there are other things there that do contain aluminum. So they have to disclose to you that there could be some aluminum in the shot shot. But let's do some math here. The injection we give to babies is 0.5 milliliters. That means in total, it could contain up to 0.05 micrograms of aluminum. And I'm here to tell you that a healthy baby can safely and efficiently excrete this amount of aluminum from their systems. You and we consume way more aluminum than that every single day. We probably take in 2,000 to 10,000 micrograms per day. So this amount is very, very small in comparison. Actually, there is more aluminum in your placenta than there is in the one-time dose of the vitamin K injection. There's also concern around other preservatives, specifically benzyl alcohol, but I'm here to tell you that a lot of times the vitamin K that your baby is receiving is preservative free. And if this is a big concern for you, just have the conversation with your provider and ask them, is this vitamin K preservative free? You can even ask to see the vial if you really want to. Oh, and there is no mercury in the vitamin K injection. You may also hear some people say that babies' natural vitamin K that they produce themselves peaks at day 8. But what this simply means is that babies start to make their own vitamin K at day 8. But that means from days 1 through 8, they are at a huge risk of vitamin K deficiency bleeding because they have very, very deficient levels. And although they start making that vitamin K on day 8, it still doesn't actually reach its full peak potential until 6 months of age, which again is the time where they are able to start eating those lovely green foods and making vitamin K that is adequate to protect them against vitamin K deficiency bleeding. And finally, a lot of parents are concerned with the pain of one more poke from their baby. Guys, I'm a mom of 4. I understand this one completely. You have loved this little tater since before they were a person, and then you see them in pain and it elicits like a visceral response. So if you're looking for ways to decrease pain during an injection, you can absolutely ask them to do it while baby is skin to skin. And if you're a breastfeeding parent, you can latch baby and breastfeed during the injection. But I urge you to gather good evidence-based information and weigh the risks of one more poke to the benefits of protecting your baby against vitamin K deficiency bleeding. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the community. I love having you here. Check out this other video for more great information, and I will see you next time. Bye.